So this is our third class in our chakra series, and I'm going to give people just another minute to log in and join us. And for those of you watching the recorded class at home, welcome as well. So tonight what we're going to do is go into our ceremony or ritual meditation. So first thing I recommend is make sure that you've got all your things set up, and I'll go over the setup again. And another thing that I recommend for tonight's class is if you're more comfortable while we're doing ritual, go ahead and turn your camera off so you're not, self-conscientious about other people in the call watching you. Okay? So, first thing I want to go over tonight is we went over in detail the root chakra. So, of course, I recommend that you start with the root chakra. So if you open up your workbook and you have already done your svadhyaya, your self-study on the root chakra, choose which intention you want to use or which issue you want to work on tonight. So what I've done is I've taken my writings from my root chakra page, and then I've gone into the ritual page, because we want to track our progress in what we're doing. So towards the back of the book, there's the ritual pages, and then I've put the date and which intention I'm working on. So we want to spend a couple minutes really contemplating the intention. It's one thing to say, oh, I want to release fear. But it's another thing to change that intention to I release fear, present tense, not I want to or I wish to, but I do so. Or you can even consider thinking about it in past tense terms. I have released whatever it is. Whatever it is you want to work on, try to phrase it and write it down in your ritual section if you haven't already, as something that has already manifested or something that is manifesting current, rather than like, I hope I can achieve this spiritual goal, or I wish I could. Phrase it or change the phrasing to I intend to, or I am open to, or I give myself permission to, or I have already done so. Okay. Now, what you want to do for setup. So we'll go over setup for just a second. So if you want to turn your cameras off, that's fine. I don't mind because you might be kind of buzzing around a little bit. So first thing you want to do is determine which intention you're going to use, and you're going to want it written down. If you don't have it written down in the ritual portion of your book yet, write it down on a sticky note, because you're going to be saying it multiple times out loud and silent during your meditation process. So the next thing you want to determine is, where is your ritual space? So if you haven't set it up already, go ahead and determine what candle you're going to use. Maybe it's correlated to the root chakra. Maybe it's just a simple white candle. Go ahead and get it lit. Maybe you have a couple of them. And I'll go over what mine looks like for this evening. I'm going to be facilitating tonight, but when we're done with this class, I'll be doing my own ritual. Next thing that you're going to want is your incense. So don't light it quite yet, but light your candle. Your incense may correlate with the chakra you're working on, or it might correlate with the divinity or spirit guide that you're working with, but don't light it yet. You're going to want to check that your ritual space has a stone. If you forgot to get a stone, go right out to the backyard, grab one, wash it up. It's still sacred. Doesn't have to be $100 fancy rose quartz crystal with a diamond on top or something like that. Okay. And I'll show you what I've chosen. And then you want to check in your ritual space that you have an oil that you want to use, an essential oil that's okay for on your skin. And please don't get it in your eyes. So for the root chakra tonight, I've chosen a combination of opium and patchouli, which are therapeutic and indicated for the root chakra. Next thing you want to make sure that you have is your drink. You can have a glass of water, a glass of juice, a tea, a wine. It kind of depends on you, and it also depends on what spirit guides you're working with. The last thing that you want to make sure of is that you are ready and you have an empty bladder. Okay, so let me just do a quick screen share here and show you a sample setup. So this is a sample setup of how my ritual will go for my root chakra. So in this setup, I have my candle at eye level. I actually have 3 candles for this particular intention that I'll be working on. I have the candles set up determined by which spirit guides I'm working with. So the white candle is for my holy guardian angel. The black candle is for my Ishta Devata, Kali, who is well known for removing disturbances or what they call demons of the mind. And then the red candle is for Ganesha. And the black and the red also go well with the root chakra, but it doesn't have to be perfectly color coordinated. And in my altar space, I have my incense. I also have my oils. I personally like to use a bell, but you don't need to use that. And then off to the side, you might not be able to see it. It's a black obsidian stone, and that correlates well with the root chakra. And then I also have a few yantras, which are geometrical devices that help you connect in with spirit guides. And then, of course, a statuary of Kali. So yours might look completely different than this. Oh, and then I've also placed out a glass of wine. So yours might look dramatically different, and it doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that you have in all of your multi-sensory, multi-elemental items, as well as your intention, something for offering. Oh, also on that altar was some candy, some chocolate marzipan, because Ganesha, who I'll be using in my ritual, loves sweets. So you can do all sorts of different things. If you're, for one of the other rituals, I'm going to be using a spirit guide, my grandmother, and she liked tobacco. So I'll put out tobacco for her. Other spirit guides, they like things like cigars, and be creative. Okay. So take a couple minutes, get everything set up, and then I'm going to place this on screen share so that I'm not a visual distraction. And I want you to go into your own process, and I'll walk you through the process. Okay. So the first time you do the process, you may have a bit of thinking. So I recommend repeating the process again. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get this on a screen share that is non-distractive. All right. So the first thing that you want to do is walk into or come into your sacred space and begin leaving the outside world behind. Start letting go of any thoughts or attachments to the outside world. Come into this sacred space, just you. Have the candle lit in front of you so that you can slowly begin to softly gaze at the candle. As you start gazing at the flickering of the candle. Begin relaxing your body. Relax your face. Let go of any gripping of the muscles around the eyes, the jaw. Relax your shoulders, your arms. Sit up nice and tall, but comfortable and relaxed. Now take note if there's any mental distractions. We don't want the mental distractions to be entertained during meditation. Just let them float by like a cloud. Don't try to attach to them, figure out what shape they are, and don't try to shoo them away. Just be neutral. Just witness them. And bring all of your attention deep into your breathing. Start taking slow, comfortable inhales and slow, comfortable exhales, while gently focused on the candle, the light, the flame of Agni, beckoning your consciousness just into this space and nowhere else. Don't place your consciousness anywhere else except on this process. See if you could take a little bit deeper inhale and a little slower exhale. And find a really comfortable rhythm. Feeling your chest rise, expanding, and relaxing. Moving away from the sympathetic nervous system and coming into the parasympathetic nervous system. Continue that breathing. And if you know special breath techniques such as Nandi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, or Ujjayi, you can do that as well. Deepen the process. If any thoughts arise, just say distraction and refocus on the candle and your breath. We're going to continue this in silence for a couple more minutes. Continue to relax your body. Fall into a deep rhythm with your breath. Really find a deep comfort in your breath. One more minute. This type of breath work brings us fully present. Take 3 more full inhales and exhales. Now light your incense in your sacred space. As you light this incense, recognize that it is an offering to bring forth and offer to your chosen spirit guide. The spirit guide that you chose for assistance and guidance in your self-transformation that you've chosen for your meditation ritual. After you light the incense, go back to your breath and begin consciously connecting with the spirit guide. You may choose to say their name out loud. For instance, you can say the name of your spirit guide and then say, please assist and guide me in this process of self-transformation. Allow yourself to connect with their presence, consciously connect with them in whatever way you know how. Resuming that natural rhythmic breathing. Not placing too much external thought to the process. Keep it simple. Let the smoke of the incense just begin dancing in the air. Let it begin to fill your sacred space. And as you welcome in your spirit guide or guides, look at your intention. Contemplate your intention for a moment and how you want to transform, how your chosen spirit guide can help empower you and guide you in this transformation. Maybe not all at once in one day, but slowly over time. And as you begin contemplating your intention, go ahead and pick up your stone, your crystal, whichever mineral that you've placed. Place it in both hands, perhaps in one palm with the other palm over it, whatever feels natural. Now begin reading your intention out loud. Say it maybe 4 or 5 times out loud. After you've said it multiple times out loud, declaring it, take a moment to contemplate, what would it look like, feel like, if the intention had already manifested, if your sankalpa already occurred? What would that look like? What would that feel like? What would that bring in your life? How would that change your actions, your thoughts, your choices? Imagine that for the next couple minutes. Begin to deeply feel the intention. Place enthusiasm into this intention. Be excited about this transformation. And repeat it a few times silently as you visualize it already manifested. Continue with your slow rhythmic breathing during this process. Eyes open, looking at the candle, or closed internal visualization. When you feel ready, know that your intention has been recorded into the stone, and set the stone on your ritual space, on your altar, in your sacred area. Now go ahead and pick up the essential oil that you've decided to use and take a couple drops, place it in your hand on your palm or fingers, and gently massage or anoint the specific chakra region that you're working on. So if you're working on the root chakra, go ahead and massage that oil, just a couple drops, at the very base of your abdomen, or perhaps even on your feet or thighs. After you've done that, come back into a simple, upright, seated position, spine tall but relaxed, and begin taking slow, gentle breaths, visualizing the oil and a warmth, a glowing light, or even the light of a flame, not a flame that burns, but a flame that purifies and transforms deep in the chakra you're working on. So if you're working on the muladhara chakra, visualize this flame deep in the pelvis, becoming brighter, stronger, removing any obstacles energetically. Let that light begin to expand, not only in its reach in your physical body, but also in your multidimensional existence, into the regions of your subtle body. With each inhale and each exhale, allow it to continue working brighter, brilliant, and clarifying, removing chronic blockages or abnormal vibrational patterns to assist in achieving your sankalpa. Continue doing this for the next few minutes in silence, maintaining your breath pattern and the visualization. Now visualize that flame, that light, expanding through your entire body, expanding through the legs, the pelvis, the abdomen, the chest, arms, neck, and head. Visualize that light moving into every single cell of your body. The tiny organelles inside each cell. And the space in between each cell. Continue with your gentle rhythmic breathing. And now visualize that light moving out onto the surface of your skin, beyond the surface of your skin, and surrounding your entire sacred space with the company of your spirit guides. Let that become stronger with each breath. Visualize your subtle body surrounded by that light. Now shift your focus to the beverage offering in front of you. And visualize a flame hovering over that glass. Spend a couple moments with your eyes open, visualizing a purifying flame hovering right over that glass. And when you've got that visualization, repeat your intention out loud again several times. Feel the vibration of that intention in present tense, as if it has already occurred, is already occurring right now. And say it a couple times silently in your mind as you continue visualizing the flame over that glass. After you've done this, visualize the flame moving into the cup, into the beverage, creating a form of a vibrational elixir. a blessed beverage with the assistance of your spirit guides and your intention. And when you're ready, you can drink, allowing it to move through the body, closing your eyes and visualizing this fluid, this blessed fluid, moving through your entire body, through your blood, into the tissues, every organ, every muscle, every bone, into the bone marrow, in every cell, purifying your mind channels and your subtle body. Allow that process of visualization to continue in silence, continuing your breath pattern, feeling cleansed, nourished, protected, guided, and filled with light, surrounded by light. With the mind in this quiet state and the breath in a quiet state, spend the next couple minutes without thinking, just in silence, receiving any messages, any impressions, without fishing for them. And see if any messages come through for you. Take a moment now to thank the spirit guides or guide that you worked with. Try saying it out loud. Thank you, fill in the blank, for guiding me, assisting me, and helping me in my self-transformation. Or it may sound like, thank you for removing obstacles, guiding my way, offering empowerments, intuition, wisdom. Take a look at the ritual space that you've set up. What kind of gifts have you set out for your spirit guide? If you've set out food or sweets or other things, these are now for you to enjoy after the ritual is over. Go ahead and blow out the candle, signifying that you are concluding your ceremony. And just spend a few moments contemplating, reflecting. At this time, it's really important not to jump back into regular mundane thinking. At this time, it's important to get out your journal, your ritual journal. You can write in the back of the book. There's plenty of space. And write down any impressions, any messages, any details, the date, what intention you had set. So the first time that we do something like this, sometimes there's a lot of moving parts in the mind. Next week, we'll do it again. Next week, you can choose either the same intention or you can choose a different intention for the same chakra, or you can go through the book and start examining the next chakra, the Swadhisthana chakra, and set an intention for that chakra. And look through the workbook, the Chakra Alignment workbook, and ask yourself, how will I work with this particular intention from this particular chakra? You can look up the stones, the scents, affirmations. But this week, ask yourself, how can you strengthen the post effect of your ceremony? What type of activities can you do? Maybe you're going to write the intention down on a sticky note and place it on a mirror or somewhere that you frequently see it, maybe on your ritual space. What other types of activities can you do to strengthen the intention? Maybe you go back and you repeat this again tomorrow night or later on in the week on your own. Remember that when we do ritual and ceremonial meditation, it's not a quick fix. It's not a instant wham bam. Sometimes you need to repeat the exact same ritual. I have rituals that I do on a weekly basis. ceremonial meditations that I do on a daily basis, and some are only done on special occasions, once a month, on a certain moon cycle associated with a certain planet. But I never expect an immediate change with one time through. Sometimes you need to develop a relationship with the ceremony, a relationship with the offerings and the spirit guides. And sometimes it's an immediate change. So have enthusiasm, continue to feel and vibrate the sankalpa and the intention. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you all next week. And we will do the exact same process, but the process will be smoother because you've already done it once. I personally recommend that you choose the exact same intention, but you can move on to another one if you want to. All right, everybody. Namaste. I'll see you soon.